tonight was a night that definitely the wrestling world will be standing on its ear and definitely has their eyes on the screen. Many of the top stars of WWE was going to be affected as tonight was draft night, night one. Monday night will be the second half of the draft, and who knows what was going to happen. Raw and SmackDown started to put their rosters together, and there were a couple of cherry picks from NXT, couple of them that will definitely leave one of panelists of our own very devastated and heartbroken here tonight. But with that, lives were changed and history was indeed made. Welcome to the Cerebral Smack Talk, ladies and gentlemen, live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Ghoul MF Michael Flecha alongside Anthony Floro and Michael Bullock. And gentlemen, it is draft night. But before we get to the draft, there is a little bit of business we must attend to first due to AEW having their Rampage show a little bit earlier on this afternoon, around 5:30, as a matter of fact. They get top billing first. So we're going to get through that, and then we'll go into the big one, the SmackDown Live, and more importantly, the WWE Draft and what went down here tonight. So with that said, start off with Rampage. And when we got Rampage, here we go. So we started off with, I believe it was a tag team fight. Let me see. Hold on one second. Live TV, live internet. Sorry. Yes, it was. It was a tag team fight, as it was Juice Robinson and Jay White going up against Ricky Starks and Shawn Spears. And it was Juice Robinson and Jay White winning the match in 9 minutes and 50 seconds. All right, good opener, solid match. About three and a quarter. You could make an argument for 3.5, but I say three and a quarter. It was a good fight. Solid matchup. Everybody did their roles really well. So I really got nothing bad to say. I thought it was a solid opener. Good way to start it off. And Anthony Floro, I give it to you, my friend.
All right, MF. One quick note. Rampage was actually pushed back 1 hour tonight. It was at 6:30, but still. It was still early. It'll be 5:30 next week. That's confirmed. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stand corrected. I apologize.
All right. Okay. No, not at all. 3 and a quarter. I agree with the rating here. Not only was this a good tag team match overall, but both duos showed quite a bit of chemistry as partners. The AEW tag team division is already crowded, but if either of these teams were to join it, I think they would do well. It's cool that people are allowed to remain in the Bullet Club, even if they leave New Japan, but AEW, I believe, should have its own chapter. The fact that AEW hasn't done more with Shawn Spears is criminal. He is so good as both a heel and a babyface, and he can work with any kind of opponent. He should be an upper mid-card star at the very least. Ricky Starks has one of the cleanest drop kicks in AEW, and he also has a good punch. A lot of wrestlers don't look convincing when they do one, but Starks makes his look like they connect. So solid 3 and a quarter for this. So not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this Rampage opener coming off one of our legendary SmackDown chats, and we had a lot of fun with it, and we'll get into that later. But for right now, the opener for AEW Rampage, 9:50, Jay White and Juice Robinson come out on top against Ricky Starks and Shawn Spears.
Yeah, 3 and a quarter. I'm with you on this one. This was a solid match here. I definitely enjoyed it. So, I really got nothing bad to say about it as well. So, let's move on, Fletch.
All right. With that said, we do indeed move on. Next up, we had was Dustin Rhodes and Keith Lee. They went up against two local talents and they won the match in 2 minutes and 5 seconds. We don't really need to talk much about that. Then we had Anna Jay and Ashley DuBois going at it, and it was Anna Jay winning the match. So again, nothing to really talk about here. Then we had Billy Gunn and the Acclaim. They went up against Cameron Stewart and two local guys. They won the match in 50 seconds, so squash there. Then we got ourselves the main event of the evening, Jay Lethal versus Cash Wheeler. And Jay Lethal winning the match, 12 minutes and 15 seconds. Uh-oh. Now think about it. Jeff Jarrett beat Dax Hardwood on Dynamite on Wednesday night. Now this, Anthony, if there isn't ever a time to call championship committee moment, this is it.
Oh, yeah. And it doesn't need to come down to that deciding vote where I would come in and be that not so silent majority. But no, all kidding aside, when it comes to it, oh, yes. This most certainly screams championship committee moment now. 12 minutes or so, you said, MF. So I would probably give this fight of the night honors. I would probably give this about 3.5 stars. This bout was highly competitive and definitely the highlight of the entire show. Wheeler and Harwood have proved multiple times that they can carry singles matches just as well as they can with tag team contests. Some confusion led to Wheeler being shoved into Briscoe and knocking him off the apron. And then Jay Lethal took advantage of it, hit Lethal Injection for the win. With 2 singles wins over FTR, Lethal and Jarrett will likely challenge for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. I'm thinking Double or Nothing for that one next month. And when Cash countered a suplex into a cradle, it almost looked like they did that as a result of Lethal not being able to get him up for a suplex. Either way, it looked good. About 3.5 stars or so. Fight of the night for me. So not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, Jay Lethal gets the win. That's the bad news, which means they get a title shot, very likely. But the good news is at least Sanjay Dutt had nothing to do with this finish tonight, unlike on Wednesday.
Yeah, unlike on Wednesday, Sanjay Dutt had a say in that in the other match, but this one here, he had no say on this one. So 3.5 stars. I'm with you on this one, and this was definitely a championship committee moment. I mean, I think Double or Nothing, we're gonna get FTR against Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett for the AEW World Tag Team titles. So yeah, nothing more to say. It's your Fletch.
Yeah, three stars. I thought it was a solid main event. Good battle, good fight. Nothing really more to say. So, Michael Bullock, you lead off. So, give me your thoughts.
Oh, what are we talking about?
Overall review for Rampage.
Oh, all right. Overall review. Yeah. There were just too many bad matches here. You only had 2 really good matches. So I can only give this a 5. That's how I can give it. So there's really nothing more to say. It's yours.
Agreed. 5 stars. Could have been better, but it is what it is. So could have been a lot more better, but I'm not gonna say anything about it. But yeah. Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, I'll make it unanimous. In the middle, 5 out of 10. 2 good matches. 1 match with the women's match. It was just for me. And then a couple of squashes here. So yeah, it's a 5 out of 10. All right, nasty business out of the way. Boys, let's have some fun now. Draft time. Let's go.
We start with the draft, and yeah. All right, so here we go. So we started the draft off with Triple H, and he laid out the ground rules. So here are the rules. Basically, he explained that every Raw and SmackDown superstar were subject to the draft. 50% of the roster will be drafted tonight. The other half will be done on Monday. They basically showed some of the names. They said that NXT stars could be selected, and that everything goes in effect after Backlash. So the rosters will not be put in place till the Monday Night Raw after Backlash. That's when the draft will be, the rosters will be commenced. All right. With that said, let's begin. The first overall pick went to SmackDown Live. And with the first pick, SmackDown Live selected Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, and Paul Heyman of the Bloodline. Monday Night Raw, then they had their first pick and selected the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Next up, after that, the SmackDown with their next selection went for gold. The Raw Women's Champion, the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair, goes back to the blue brand. And this is the first bomb that went off tonight. Roman going to SmackDown means that the World Heavyweight Championship will now be exclusive to Monday Night Raw. And two, Bianca Belair, because of her going to SmackDown, the Raw Women's title just went to the Raw Women's title has gone to SmackDown for the moment. For the moment. Now, things need to be done. Obviously, we got to wait till after Backlash. But as of now, Bianca Belair is a Raw champion with the joining the blue brand on SmackDown. Final pick of round number 1. Monday Night Raw selected the man, Becky Lynch. Look, I can't say nothing bad about round number 1. You can't really say anything bad about round 1. If you really think about it, Roman, Solo, and Heyman going to SmackDown, expected. Cody Rhodes going to Monday Night Raw. Now, there was some rumors about people saying, well, I think Cody's going to go to SmackDown. He'll fight with Roman. Obviously, now that's out of the table. That's off the table now. That's off the books. There's no possible way that's going to happen now. So maybe now Cody might have just positioned himself in as maybe the favorite to now become the World Heavyweight Champion once we get to Saudi Arabia. And that championship fight that's going down very soon. So we got that. Bianca Belair going to SmackDown, that's huge. What a get for SmackDown. I was like, wow, we did not just pull that off, did we? And here the whole time we were thinking, Rhea Ripley going to SmackDown, Rhea Ripley going to SmackDown, Rhea Ripley going to SmackDown. Oh no, she might be heading to Raw. That's fine, but there might be a belt swap possible. Now we don't know because remember, the Raw Women's title is now, it's up for grabs. Because Bianca is the Raw champion, remember, all these moves are not going into effect until Backlash. So we're going to have to wait to see how Bianca is going to lose this belt. Because she's going to have to drop it now at some point. What's that going to look like? I don't know. And then Becky Lynch going to Raw, that is a great move for Raw. Obviously a necessary move. So for me, round 1, wash. There's no favorite. There was no winner in this round. Raw got necessary talent. SmackDown got their necessary talent. 2 belts already going to SmackDown. They got the Raw Women's title, but obviously that's not going to stand. That's not going to happen. At some point, the SmackDown Women's title's got to go there. But other big news, the undisputed Universal title will remain on SmackDown, which means Monday Night Raw will now be exclusive to the World Heavyweight Championship. The belt that Triple H unveiled on Raw will now be exclusive to Monday night. Anthony Florio, give me your thoughts on round one. You got to be very happy. American Nightmare and the Man going to Raw. I know you must be gutted to hear that Bianca Belair is leaving, going to SmackDown. But more importantly, you now got the exclusive rights to the World Heavyweight Championship.
You already know how I feel about another certain championship, the Intercontinental belt. The World Heavyweight Championship is just as much as my heart as the Intercontinental belt is. And MF, you know the story about that. Our little, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero thing that we've always had, for many years. But the World Heavyweight Championship, Raw bound, which is not a surprise because, Roman's just too valuable to SmackDown. That's just all there is to it. And you notice something. It wasn't the entire bloodline. It was just Roman and Solo, along with Paul Heyman, not the Usos. Very, very interesting. We gotta definitely, that's something we gotta definitely look into and keep an eye on there, gentlemen. Cody staying on Raw, that's not a big surprise. I had a feeling he was going to. Bianca, that's well, here's the thing. Tonight in this draft, there were moments where MF and I were excited. Other times we were gutted. This is one of those times where I got hit in the gut. Bianca Belair going to SmackDown. If all holds sir, we're going to have a belt switch. But that won't be confirmed officially until Monday night because there were specific superstars who were eligible tonight. Rhea Ripley was not on tonight's eligibility list. She's on the eligibility list for Monday. So we will not know that until Monday Night Raw. That's where we'll find out. But don't be surprised if they say Rhea Ripley to Raw. And if that's the case, that means a belt swap. That means Bianca Belair will then become the SmackDown Women's Champion and Rhea Ripley will become the Raw Women's Champion. And yeah, so that's a big loss for Raw because Bianca Belair carried that Raw Women's division for the last year. After she dethroned Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 38, became the Raw Women's Champion and has been champion since. She's, I believe, the second longest champion in WWE, only behind Roman. But man, that's a big loss for Raw. That's a huge get for SmackDown, MF. I know you got to be loving that. I know how very excited you got to be about that. You had her on there once before. It didn't end well the first time because of what happened with Becky at the SummerSlam in 21 at Allegiant, but now Bianca, if all goes well, is gonna start off as the SmackDown Women's Champion. So, what a big get for the SmackDown Women's division. Becky staying on Raw. That's a big get for us. Becky's been doing some good. She's had some big moments on Raw, and if she's staying on Raw, don't be surprised if her husband Seth freaking Rollins ends up staying on Raw as well, and I wouldn't have that any other way. Now, as far as what's going on with Cody here, I know everybody's saying, "Oh, now he can't go after Roman." Not necessarily. I believe there's still a way they can pull this off. Money in the Bank. Remember, if you win the Money in the Bank, you don't necessarily have to challenge your brand's champion. You can jump ship and go to the other show. Remember that. So Cody can still go after Roman theoretically. He wins Money in the Bank. He can cash in and say, I want Roman. You do that sucker at SummerSlam. Then you can hashtag finish the story right there at Ford Field. So, but nonetheless, pretty much a status quo first round. The only exception was Bianca. So big coup for SmackDown, big loss for Raw. Because like I said, Bianca carried that women's division for the last year. She was our frontline soldier. And I am very appreciative and thankful for Bianca's excellent service over the last year. Well done. Go kill it on SmackDown like you did before. So, and Cody's staying. I'm happy about that because I relate to him. So So there's not much more for me to say. So pretty much status quo in the first round, Michael Bullock, as I give it to you, Phenom. So it was pretty much status quo. Roman and company on SmackDown, Cody to Raw, Becky staying on Raw. But the only big bomb of round one, Bianca Belair going to SmackDown. And you know what that means. Very most likely belt switch with Rhea Ripley. And hopefully this time around, it will not be as cringeworthy as that Becky and Charlotte belt swap in the last draft. So Bullock, it's yours. Status quo first round, but Bianca going to SmackDown, the only real bomb here. Bullock, are you there?
Are you with us? Might have stepped away.
Maybe he stepped away. I don't know, but
all right.
Oh, there he is. We got him. All right, Bullock, your thoughts on round one of the draft?
Yeah, I mean, Roman Reigns staying on SmackDown was no surprise. I mean, and obviously, of course, Bianca Belair going to SmackDown. I mean, that's where she got it started. So that means, as of right now, the Raw Women's title is now the property of SmackDown. But we'll see what transpires come Monday night when the draft continues. Yeah, and then you get Becky Lynch, the man. So yeah, I mean, I thought this was a pretty good first night of the draft, or first round, I should say. So nothing more to say. Let's move on.
All right. Well, now we got some in-ring action. Anthony gets to lead it off, as it was Butch going one-on-one with LA Knight. Yeah. And when it was all said and done, winner of the bout, 8 minutes and 32 seconds, was LA Knight. So, Anthony, it's yours.
Got to go Jesse mode on this one. Big win for LA Knight. Big win.
Must needed win. He needed this.
Absolutely needed this. With how underutilized he's been and how he didn't get on WrestleMania is beyond me. But I got a feeling we'll see him in Philly next year. There's no doubt he'll be in Philly next year. After incessant defeats, LA Knight finally scored a quality win tonight, knocking off the Brawling Brutes Butch and looking like the star he is in the process. The competitive match ended with Knight scoring the clean win, much to the delight of a WWE universe that has been solidly behind him in recent months. With the WWE Draft providing superstars the opportunity at a fresh start, one can only hope the shakeup allows him to land in a situation that both suits and allows him to grow into a more substantial position on the card. For Butch, may this be one of the last times he has to compete under that ridiculous name, as Triple H finds a way to get him back to being the relentless, badass Bret Pete Dunne, as he should have been all along. Knight leaped to the top rope and delivered a big superplex, and then Knight delivered the BFT for a long overdue win. I'm going to give it a solid 3 stars for the effort. I would say maybe third best fight of the night here, maybe. So at least 3 for this. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, LA Knight, finally gets a win, and that is a fact of life. Yeah.
Yeah. You could definitely say, I mean, 3 stars for this. I mean, definitely the biggest win right now for LA Knight. I mean, to get a win over someone like Butch, and who knows where this will lead for LA Knight as time goes on. So yeah, so there's really nothing more for me to say. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, 3 stars for me. Solid match. Well done. Definitely LA Knight getting a big win. That's as good as you're gonna get. So I'm very happy for him, man. Great win for them as well. All right, round 2. We start with SmackDown again, and this time they hit us with the Street Profits. That's right, Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins. There were rumors about maybe a split, a breakup. Not happening. They remained united. They remained defined. They remained intact and in hold. Then, the next pick, Monday Night Raw selects Giovanni Vinci, Ludwig Kaiser, and the Intercontinental Champion
Let's
Gunther.
go.
It's Imperium. All 3 members join Monday Night Raw. But remember, here's the big thing. The Intercontinental title now goes to Raw. It's exclusive to Raw. Now, wait. That doesn't necessarily mean it's Monday Night Raw. If Gunther loses the belt between now and Backlash,
he won't.
And it goes to a SmackDown star, then SmackDown brings the belt back to SmackDown. The Intercontinental title goes back to SmackDown. But that's the only way that happens. As of now, the Intercontinental title belongs to Monday Night Raw until all the moves, the moving and shaking, whatever needs to be done after Backlash. So, up until Backlash, right now, the Intercontinental title is on Raw. However, if any SmackDown star or any star that gets drafted to SmackDown takes the Intercontinental title away from Gunther, that belt becomes exclusive to that brand. But right now, as it stands, the Monday Night Raw has the Intercontinental title in possession. SmackDown in turnaround and gets the rated R superstar Edge. And then Matt Riddle stays with Monday Night Raw. Anthony Florio, you lead off on this one. We already know. Good move by SmackDown, but that Imperium move won it for Raw. Round 2 goes to them.
Gutted. Now you know how I felt when Bianca went to SmackDown. So, yes. Okay. It makes sense that the former tag team champions were drafted as a unit since they never underwent any sort of breakup angle. But one has to wonder how long they will remain united before the inevitable Montez Ford push ensues. As Angelo Dawkins has proven countless times over the last year, he may be the surprise breakout star if and when that split takes place. Regardless of timing, WWE is in a good place in that it will eventually have 2 dynamic and charismatic solo stars on its hands, both of whom have proven they can hang at the highest levels of competition. So that's a great move for SmackDown, getting the Street Profits. Big moment for you guys there. Shakes up the tag team division, a much needed shake up in the tag team division over there. Imperium to Raw, that is huge, especially with Gunther. As of right now, MF, he is not currently advertised to defend the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship anytime soon. He's not advertised for Puerto Rico for next Friday night on SmackDown, the go home SmackDown for Backlash, and he doesn't have a match at Backlash yet. If that holds, that guarantees the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship is coming home to Raw. And that very likely means, MF, SmackDown, you might be getting the United States Heavyweight Championship back. You might be getting Austin Theory. A-Town Down could be coming to Team Blue. And what a coup that would be for you if you get Austin Theory, which is looking very, very likely. And I did read some dirt sheets, and there were some dirt sheets that were reporting that they were considering switching the secondary titles. And this is the first bomb to drop. The first domino falls here. Intercontinental belt, barring Gunther not losing it. If Gunther can hang on to the title past Backlash, then that guarantees the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship is coming back to Monday Night Raw. And this particular draft is going to have the old school feel. It's going to feel like the original draft because Raw had the World Heavyweight Championship and they also had the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, whereas SmackDown had the WWE Championship and the United States Heavyweight Championship. And of course, they had their own tag team titles. Raw had their own tag team titles. So belt-wise, it's starting to have the feel of the original draft back in 2002 when this whole thing really started in the first place. So I'm getting those feels again, guys. I'm getting those feels. So what a get from Monday Night Raw, especially Gunther. Come on. I mean, and he will most certainly be one of the favorites for that World Heavyweight Championship. And by the way, they announced that there will be a tournament featuring superstars from both Raw and SmackDown, believe it or not. So, and we'll see what happens with that tournament, how many guys there are going to be. But the finals will be at Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia on Memorial Day weekend. So, we're going to have to wait and see what happens with that. But for all intents and purposes, that World Heavyweight Championship is going to be on Raw. And Gunther is going to be one of the favorites, provided he loses that Intercontinental belt anytime soon. But Edge to SmackDown, MF, that's a big coup for you. You've got yourself a veteran who can easily develop the younger talent. He can be, a utility veteran, obviously, at this point in his career, the Hall of Famer. That's and remember, Edge had success on both Raw and SmackDown. He was successful. He was overly successful on both shows. He knows what it's like to make it big on Team Red and Team Blue. So, but that's a great coup for you, MF, to get the legend that is Edge. And Matt Riddle, if we can keep Riddle as this serious Matt Riddle that we're seeing right now, this more aggressive Matt Riddle instead of that funny ha-ha Riddle, we could end up having a diamond in the rough here. So, but yeah, Street Profits, that's a big get for SmackDown for their tag division. The big winner here was Raw getting Imperium, especially Gunther, which all but guarantees the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championships coming back to Monday Night Raw. My favorite belt is coming back to my show. I mean, Team Red gets that belt. That's awesome. And Edge going to SmackDown, he could be a great utility veteran. He could be, someone who can who can help work with the younger talent, lend his expertise, and Riddle could end up being a diamond in the rough if we keep getting this serious one. So solid round two. Not much more to say. Michael Bullock. There were some shakeups, yes, but the biggest shakeup of all, Imperium going to Raw, Gunther, which means it's all but guaranteed the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championships is returning to Monday Night Raw. And it's going to have that old school Monday Night Raw feel along with that World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, like you said, that's what's the story here. Obviously, Imperium, especially Gunther, coming to Monday Night Raw and getting that Intercontinental Championship along the way. So that's a huge thing for Monday Night Raw. And yeah, Matt Riddle, we get this serious Matt Riddle. Man, this could be something really good, but all in all, I thought this was, I like the picks, but as you just said, the winner of this one was obviously Monday Night Raw because of them getting Imperium. So nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, like we said, Imperium won it for Raw, no doubt about it. The picks were good. I'm happy Edge is coming back to SmackDown, man. I love Edge. He's been a big star for me. Not only that, but I also love the Street Profits tag team. One of the best tag teams. I'm a little shocked that they did not break them up. We've been hearing rumors about a possible breakup down the line, but they decided to go there. But if you notice, Bianca's on SmackDown, so the Profits go to SmackDown. That's a great move for them. And then, of course, Edge is Edge. Edge is one of the great stars of WWE, so there's no doubt about that. I'm happy for him. Unfortunately, I'm heartbroken that we lost Imperium. They were amazing, especially Gunther, to know that the Intercontinental title is now gone from SmackDown. That hurt. That definitely, like Anthony said earlier in the night, how he got gut-shotted by over the fact that Bianca left and went to SmackDown. this was the gut shot for me. This is the moment where I was like, oh, no. That's the moment I dropped my head, hand over the face. I didn't know it's not the infamous towel moment, the towel over the face, but I was definitely getting there. I was like, oh, that hurt. I'm gonna that one's gonna sting for a little bit. So yeah, good rounds. All right, so next up, triple threat tag team fight, Ricochet and Braun Strowman, Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde representing the LWO, and the aforementioned and newest members of the SmackDown roster, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins of the Street Profits. Street Profits wins it all in 7 minutes and 52 seconds. Michael Bullock, it is yours.
Yeah, I thought this was a fun and entertaining match here in the amount of time it did get. I'm going to give it about... I'm going to give this about maybe 2.5 to 3 for the effort here. So there's really nothing more for me to say. It's yours, Fletch.
2.5 to 3. Solid effort, no doubt about it. I really enjoyed it. There was really nothing more to add. I thought it was a good, solid fight. Profits getting the win. Obviously, you got to give them the win. Give them the momentum. First night on SmackDown officially. Now members of the SmackDown roster. Obviously, you got to give them that win there. So I enjoyed it. Good for them. Nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
3. I'm leaning more towards 3 to 3.5. I mean, action-packed, high-energy triple threat match. It kind of had the feel of, it almost had the feel of that WrestleMania showcase match. It almost had that feel. That's how great it was. And let's not forget, we also had special guests on hand to announce the picks. I mean, yes, we had Triple H in the opener, but for the second round, we had Hall of Famers Rob Van Dam, RVD. Wow, I was not expecting that. And we also had Michael P.S. Hayes, a.k.a. Doc Hendricks. Well, Vinnie Max. So, yeah. Yep, it was great to see them. RVD representing Raw, Michael P.S. Hayes representing SmackDown. And great to see them. And that wasn't the first, though. We also had some more legends with the other picks later. But
yeah.
But great to see RVD, who was a mainstay on Monday Night Raw. He was one of the top guys on Monday Night Raw in the original draft, in the original extension. So he definitely had some big-time success on Raw. So, and Michael P.S. Hayes, obviously part of the creative team and a producer. So he's very well known with SmackDown. So Braun Strowman and Ricochet made light of last week's botch before the Monster Among Monsters tossed his partner over the top rope and onto the opposition once again. Dawkins flew, wiping out Strowman at ringside, only for Ricochet to follow suit and lay him out. Montez Ford off a blind tag delivered the From the Heavens frog splash on Ricochet for the win. If we're gonna get matches like these going forward, oh yeah, the tag team division on SmackDown is gonna be insane. So, oh my goodness. So 3 to 3.5. Very, not just a fun little sprint, a very fun little sprint. MF, all I can say is, I don't know if it was just me, but it had the feel. It almost had a similar feel to that WrestleMania showcase and how insane that was at Mania.
Yeah, it was. It was actually a sleeper fight of the night, if I remember correctly.
Fight of the night.
Yeah, we talked about how we were pleasantly surprised of how good that match was. So
I had a good feeling. Feeling it would. I had a good going into that. You remember, I said I have a good feeling about this, and I was right.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
And tonight this had the feel of it. So 3 to 3.5 for me. Again, sleeper fight of the night. So with that, we move on to round 3, and 2 more legends came out, and these 2 gentlemen, MF, near and dear to your heart as a SmackDown follower.
Yes, leading off for representing the SmackDown selections was JBL, one of the longest reigning WWE champions on SmackDown. Longest. And then, of course, representing Monday Night Raw was...
it's the Mac Militant. It's the Mac... I got to do it. It's the Mac Militant.
Come bring it on. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. It was Teddy Long. It was Tilo. He was making the announcements for Monday Night Raw. So here we go. Round 3. SmackDown Live started it off and selected Bobby Lashley. Lashley goes to SmackDown. That's a great pickup for SmackDown. Bobby Lashley, that's going to be huge. Then Monday Night Raw, in turn, got their pick. Drew McIntyre goes to Monday Night Raw. Anthony was very happy with that choice. Then SmackDown comes around and they went faction. The OC. That's right. Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, Meechem, Mia Yim, and the phenomenal AJ Styles goes to SmackDown. It was one thing when we heard those three, but when AJ came out, I lost it. I was like, he's home. Oh God, we were like, I would hug AJ right now and say, welcome home, buddy. Welcome back to the Blue Brand. Because, my God, you were the frontline soldier for SmackDown for so many years. This is the one that I was, like, ecstatic for. And yes, I'm happy for Bobby in this round. I'm glad Bobby's with us because he's big. But for me, and Anthony, you know this, you know I loved AJ Styles on SmackDown. And then The Miz goes to Monday Night Raw. I don't know how Floro's going to feel about it. But we're going to get Floro in a minute. Michael Bullock, you get to lead off on this round. Bobby Lashley and the OC goes to SmackDown. Drew McIntyre and The Miz going to Monday Night Raw.
And I'll tell you this, Fletch. I mean, I know the moment when they announced that Bobby Lashley was coming to Monday Night Raw, I know you must have been very, very happy with that.
You mean Bobby Lashley going to SmackDown?
Yeah, with Bobby Lashley going to SmackDown. I mean, all I can say is I know you were smiling like crazy when, but nobody was more happier later on was obviously Anthony Floro when Drew McIntyre got drafted to Monday Night Raw, because remember during the pandemic, guys, who was the frontline soldier of Monday Night Raw?
Drew McIntyre. Yes, absolutely. Agreed.
Yes, so a little bit of a homecoming for him. So, but yeah, I mean, the OC going to SmackDown, and yeah, I mean, AJ Styles is back at home on SmackDown, the house that AJ Styles built, as he once said. But all in all, these picks I thought were really good. So, Fletch, it is yours. Your man, the phenomenal AJ Styles, comes home to SmackDown, the house that he built.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Bobby Lashley going to SmackDown. Look, Bobby had success on SmackDown too for a number of years. He was actually pretty dominant on SmackDown, so I think he's going to be very comfortable going back home. Obviously, Drew McIntyre going to Monday Night Raw. In a way, it was expected. There were rumors about him going back to Raw. But, dude, for him to be in Raw, you could easily thrust him right into that title picture. Obviously, he could be one of the favorites to become the world heavyweight champion. So, I mean, he was one of the frontline soldiers for Monday Night Raw. So it was great that they got him there. For the OC to go to SmackDown, that is massive, because you got AJ Styles, who could easily become a U.S. or heavyweight champion. You're going to have Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, two guys who could easily go after the tag team titles. And then don't sleep on Mia Yim either. Meechin, definitely a major upgrade for the SmackDown women's roster, because going into it, SmackDown is assembling quite a female roster right now, led by Bianca Belair. Now you got Mia Yim. So you're thinking at this point in the game that you are really setting yourself up beautifully for SmackDown. And we'll get into more in just a little bit because there was some more bombs that got dropped. But at the end of the day, I'm with it. I love the picks, and just the mere fact that SmackDown does not get the Miz, and that's Raw's problem. Hey, by all means, I'm ecstatic with that move. I think that was why I thought SmackDown won the round, because of the fact that they got quality picks, and they actually and they did not fall into the landmines like Monday Night Raw did. So Floro, it's yours. Lashley going to SmackDown, McIntyre going to Raw, the OC going to SmackDown, and The Miz goes to Monday Night Raw. It's yours.
The Almighty needed a fresh start, and he gets it on SmackDown, where he has the opportunity to possibly one day challenge Roman Reigns for the undisputed Universal Championship in a match that has not happened since 2019. Following the announcements of the latest picks by Hall of Famers John Bradshaw Layfield and Teddy Long, we saw a women's match after that in a little bit. But I'll say it like this. Bobby Lashley, that's a big get for SmackDown. Bobby Lashley was very successful on Monday Night Raw. This version of Bobby Lashley, this was the Bobby Lashley that MF and I remember seeing when he was in TNA. I mean, this almighty Bobby Lashley, he's doing the best work of his career right now. And great success on Raw, a United States heavyweight champion, also a former multi-time WWE champion as well. And to get this Bobby Lashley at this stage of his career to SmackDown, that is a major get for SmackDown. So big get for you guys. Drew McIntyre coming back to Raw. MF, you talked about it, with AJ. I mean, I would do the exact same thing. I would a big embrace for Drew, saying, "Welcome home, bud. Welcome home, brother." I mean, you carried us through the pandemic, and we will never, ever forget you for that. Getting us through the darkest time this country had seen since 9/11. But man alive, when WWE gave Drew McIntyre the ball, gave him the WWE Championship those couple of times, in 2020, he picked that ball up, and boy, howdy did he run with that thing. He ran with it and then some, and it was no surprise that that he was in many of our eyes the male superstar of the year in 2020. So great to have him back. Unfortunately, he has lost some luster. Unfortunately, he went to SmackDown. He did have some moments, including taking Roman to the limit at Clash at the Castle. We all remember that. He took Roman to the limit and then some. In a lot of our eyes, he should have won the title, but he didn't. I mean, we'll always imagine. This will always be in our what if files. What if he had gone over? That would have been the biggest pop maybe ever. If he had left Cardiff as the undisputed champion, but that did not happen. But of course he was also a part of what is now the greatest Intercontinental Championship match in WrestleMania history with Gunther and Sheamus on WrestleMania Sunday. I mean, we haven't heard much from him lately. I mean, I know he's been doing some cringeworthy things as of late, but I'm hopeful that him going back to Raw will be the fresh start that he needs, and get him back on track. And he will definitely be in that world heavyweight title consideration. There is no doubt about that. He instantly becomes a favorite, no doubt about that. OC package deal, that's a big get for you, MF. For you got one of the best tag teams, a tag team very well, the Good Brothers, based in Japan. You remember Mia Yim. Underrated talent. I mean, I think she's a great fit for the SmackDown women's division. And of course, I got my frontline soldier back. You got your frontline soldier back. Everybody remembers AJ Styles, 2016 and 2017 into 2018. For the better part of 2 or 3 years, he was the heart and soul of SmackDown. It wasn't Friday Night SmackDown. It was on Tuesday nights on USA. It was SmackDown Live, including a WWE Championship reign that lasted just over a year. And multi-time WWE champion, a multi-time United States heavyweight champion. Also won an Intercontinental title on that show. So had far more success on SmackDown than he ever did on Raw. Yes, he had some moments. You know, he was a U.S. champion on Raw. He was also a Raw tag team champion with Omos. But other than that, he didn't really do much on Raw. So maybe him going back to the blue brand, maybe that's what the Phenomenal One needs. So the heart and soul of the original Fortune 4, throw it up for the Phenomenal One. That's a great package deal for MF and SmackDown. And our first black pick of the night, The Miz. Ugh. That means we're gonna have to listen to whenever Bullock and I have our Raw chats and we see him come out, you know what that's gonna mean. Corey Graves will be literally jizzing his pants every time he sees him. So yeah, that's a running gag for me and Bullock. So because you know how excited he gets whenever Miz shows up.
Yeah, I know. That's
why I went with that little remark there. But
that's fine.
But other than that, but you know, Miz has had moments, yes, but nowadays he's really. If I had to pick, you know, 2 words to best describe Miz nowadays, I hate to say it, but punching bag. That's all he is.
Yeah. He's
basically a dummy. Yeah. So.
And 2 more words. Go away. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He does have that. He does indeed have that go away heat. So there is no doubt about that. He's basically a funny ha-ha guy. But we'll see what happens. So there isn't much more to say here. So SmackDown definitely wins. Bobby Lashley alone put you boys over the top. But not only do you get the best version of Bobby Lashley we've ever seen, MF, but your frontline soldiers coming home, AJ Styles. And he's brought some friends with him in the Good Brothers and Michin. So big gets for SmackDown. I'm happy about Drew coming home, but I could do without Miz. But then again, we all could do without him. So, yeah. But you know, it's sad to say, but the way he's going right now, he's a funny ha-ha guy. He's a punching bag. So that's all there is to it. Annoying little idiot, in the immortal words of Dee Dee Woodson. So
yes,
that best describes him. Bullock, did you give your thoughts or?
Bullock led off.
Oh, you led off. Okay. All right. So let's move on to some women's action involving the now number 1 contender who will challenge Rhea Ripley for the SmackDown Women's Championship in what will be the biggest match of her life next week, MF.
Yes, it will. It was Zelina Vega. She went up against Sonya Deville. Zelina Vega winning the match in 3 minutes and 12 seconds. We don't really need to talk about it. By default, it was the worst fight of the night, but it was a good showcase fight for Zelina to get that momentum that she deserved going into that title fight next Saturday night in San Juan, Puerto Rico. So we got that. Then the final round of the first night of the draft, Shawn Michaels and Road Dogg coming out. Shawn doing for SmackDown, Road Dogg for Monday Night Raw. And here we go. So we started off. SmackDown selected all 3 members of Damage Control. Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky all go to SmackDown. Then Monday Night Raw selects Shinsuke Nakamura. Anthony, I know you're going to love that pick. You're going to be excited. Then a nuke got dropped. And not only did this blow up everywhere, Michael Bullock got affected twice over. First, SmackDown selects the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. Kaylee freaking Ray's coming to SmackDown. I lost my mind. I was like, I started running around like a maniac. I was like, oh my God.
You must have been like, I'm done.
Didn't I tell you, Bullock? Didn't I tell you during our SmackDown chat when this pick went down, MF would be going off like a crazy man, a la Pat McAfee?
Oh, I went nuts. I couldn't believe it. The jaw hit the floor and I freaked out. on this. But then Anthony Florio got a moment, and he cherry-picked from the NXT pot, and the unthinkable just happened. The NXT Women's Champion herself, Indy Hartwell, is going to Monday Night Raw. Michael Bullock lost the Women's Tag Team Champions and the Women's Champion in one found swoop.
I'll tell you this, Fletch. I mean, you and Florio may have won this round, but I'll tell you who lost this one, and that's my brand at NXT. Yeah. We ended up the losers because we lost two of our champions.
Yeah, and that was stunning. We did not see that coming, but you might get some little bit of a comeback, because immediately after that announcement was made, Katana Chance and Kaden Carter did issue a challenge. They did challenge Isla Dawn and Alba Fire to a NXT Women's Tag Team title fight this Tuesday night on NXT. So that's a must-watch fight now. And by all attempted purposes, guys, we're probably looking at new tag team champions now. So it looks like, Bullock, you're not going to be without the belts for too long. Possibly by Tuesday night, you'll get the belts back, and you'll have Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, my girls, holding the belts in your possession. Now, what happens to Indy Hartwell? Now, a whole bunch of can of worms is opened up. We do not know what's going to happen there. So, with that said, I mean, man, this is a wash again. Look, Bayley, Io Sky, Dakota Kai going to SmackDown. Big get. The women's division becomes even more better than ever, more refined, more defined than anything else. And if you really think about it, my God, what a night for SmackDown. If you think about it, with the women that they're getting, Bayley, Dakota, Io, Michin, Bianca, that's a great start. And then Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, oh my God, that roster, that the SmackDown women's roster is loaded. It's setting up to be something really special. But Monday Night Raw has nothing to sneeze at. With Becky Lynch, now Indy Hartwell going to Monday Night Raw, you got yourself a nice little setup. It's not, obviously there's going to be more coming out within the next day or so. And as a matter of fact, tomorrow morning, for all you fans on Peacock and WWE Network, they normally do a show called the Smackdown Lowdown. They do the show called the Smackdown Lowdown. There will be more draft picks selected on that show tomorrow. We will be posting those results on social media, and Anthony Florio will be putting it on his all right, Mike. Have a good night, man. It'll be on his social media website, and on top of that, we'll also be talking about it. It'll be on the social media platforms. Myself, Florio is going to be posting it once we get the results of those picks. So that's going to be happening tomorrow. Anthony, give me your thoughts, man. SmackDown did pretty well, but you got to be ecstatic. Shinsuke Nakamura and Indy Hartwell going to Monday Night Raw. Oh, my.
Yeah. How about this? For the first time in his WWE career, Shinsuke Nakamura is going to be on Monday Night Raw. That's never happened before. He's always been on SmackDown. All 6 years. And he's now going to be exclusive to Monday Night Raw for the first time ever. And that's definitely a big coup for us. to get him. So all right, just give me 1 second here. Okay, so yeah, I just had to check with Bullock on something. All right. Okay. All right. First three superstars from NXT finally making their way to the main roster as women's tag champions. Isla Dawn and Alba Fire make their way to the main roster as women's tag team. Yep, they joined the Blue Brand, and singles champ Indy Hartwell joined the flagship. Dawn and Fire are most interesting in that they were in the process of establishing themselves as a tag team force on Tuesday nights and will now look to do so on the main roster. Indy Hartwell's call-up has been a long time coming. As of now, Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae, and Dexter Lumis are all members of the Red Brand, potentially setting up a reunion for the Way should Papa H opt to go in that direction. But I'll say it like this, MF. This is all about the ladies here. First off, Damage Control. Damage Control is on SmackDown. Michael Cole, look out.
Yeah. His worst nightmare came true. Bailey's back on SmackDown.
And Michael Cole is going to be mortified each and every week.
Yep.
So he's like, oh, no. But unfortunately, it's a reality, Cole. And now Shinsuke Nakamura is back on Raw. So as of right now, guess who else is there? We could end up having a reunion with him and Rick Boogs.
Oh, yes.
Don't forget that.
Yeah.
Boogs is on Raw for now. Keyword for now. So if Boogs stays on Raw, Boogs and Shinsuke are back together again. Oh, that's a big coup for the Raw Tag Team division. Because they were coming into their own before Boogs' unfortunate injury at WrestleMania last year, where he tore the quad. So
some people thought that Boogs and Nakamura could have won the tag team titles at WrestleMania if it wasn't for the injury.
Another what if file.
Another what if, yeah.
Definitely. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. We obviously don't know much about Isla Dawn. But MF, you know every nook and cranny about Kaylee Ray. How long have you followed this woman?
Oh, man, it's been about maybe 3 years because of ICW. She was like the face of ICW for at least a good couple of years. Yeah. And her husband, Stevie Boy, and that team, that was the original Gallus when they first started in ICW. It was actually Wolfgang. Yeah, it was actually Wolfgang, Mark Coffey, Kaylee Ray, and Stevie Boy, and that was the original Gallus.
Wow.
When they started.
And this woman that you followed for 3 or so years, she's on your show now.
I cannot believe it. I'm so excited, man.
That's another big one for you.
That when that announcement happened, when I heard that they were going to SmackDown, I was like, wait, what? Ah!
Yeah. That was your big moment.
Yeah.
Now you know how I felt when I heard that Imperium was coming to Raw and the Intercontinental title. So
yeah.
But wow.
I could only imagine if we were there when this happened. I probably would have been shaking you like we got him, and then poor Bullock, man, hands over the head like I just lost the tag team championships. Oh no.
Not to worry, Bullock, not to worry.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna go on the record right now. I think Chance and Carter are gonna win the belts on Tuesday.
Oh yeah, they're getting those belts back. They're getting it.
Yep. But the question is, what are they going to do with Indy Hartwell now? Now that Indy Wrestling is on her way to Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
For me, all I really did, the infamous Stone Cold Steve Austin 97 Rumble face. I was like, what? I was like, wow, okay. This is a surprise. I was not expecting it, but who knows? Maybe Johnny and Candice, maybe they had something to do with it. I don't know. But let's not forget keywords for now.
Yeah.
Johnny, Candice, and Dexter Lumis are all on Raw. That could change. Or, like I said, if Papa H wants to reunite the way, they could do it right here. This is the opportunity to do it. But we got to get Johnny, Candice, and Dexter all on Raw as well. That could come as early as tomorrow morning, or it could come as early as Monday night. I don't know. We'll see. But Indy Hartwell, that was definitely the shocker right here, as well as Fire and Dawn. So, a couple of surprises here. It's a wash here. I mean, Shinsuke coming to Raw for the first time in his WWE career. 6 years he's been in WWE. All those years he was on SmackDown. First time ever. He's now exclusive to the Red brand. About damn time. I've wanted this guy on Raw for the last couple of years or so, and now I finally got him. So I'm hoping that that he will not get lost in the shuffle over there. I mean, when he first came to SmackDown, he started off a House of Fire. He was doing a lot of things. 2018, he won the Royal Rumble, and we all thought he was going to win the WWE Championship. That didn't happen. And he wasn't really the same after that. Yes, he had a couple moments here and there, a couple of U.S. title wins and an Intercontinental win and whatnot. And, of course, he got over again once they paired him with Rick Boogs. And who knows, if Boogs stays on Raw, Boogs and Shin are back together again. And nobody will be happier about that than one Patrick McAfee. So, no doubt. And Damage Control and Fire and Dawn to SmackDown, big coups for the women's division, especially Fire and Dawn. So, Hartwell, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Could be setting up a possible reunion of the way. It could happen. So, we'll see what happens. But definitely a very interesting final round. So, there isn't much more to say. We'll definitely keep an eye out for the pick announcements as they come in tomorrow. So not much more to say. MF, it's now time for perhaps the most anticipated tag team rematch maybe ever.
Yes, indeed. And the main event, it was for the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championship of the World. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens winning the match 17 minutes and 38 seconds. Anthony Florio, it is all yours.
No question about it. This was the fight of the night. I think, with all due respect, WrestleMania, obviously, smidgen better, obviously, because obviously no commercial interruptions or any of that.
Yeah.
But despite that, we had our doubts. Remember, MF, we had our doubts because, remember, Night of Champions is in Saudi Arabia. And we know how Sami Zayn feels about that. I don't know. I'm not sure about KO. I don't know if he's with Sami on that, but this is great. Surprise finish. I had my doubts, but I kind of had a feeling Sami and KO were going to retain, because if they had taken them off from here, it would have been a major disservice, and it would have made that WrestleMania moment all for naught, with all due respect. But Zayn and Owens retained their titles in another stellar match between the teams, threatening the Usos' place in the bloodline and their relationship with their cousin. That Solo Sikoa, having created separation from Matt Riddle after a brief brawl, shook his head in frustration as he watched the champions celebrate their victory, suggests that the Enforcer was sent to the ring to either prevent that outcome or knows now that he must excommunicate his brothers from the family. The bloodline story appears to be reaching a crescendo and hopefully culminates with Jimmy and Jay standing up for themselves after being utilized as pawns to help elongate the Tribal Chiefs' historic championship reign. Backstage, Paul Heyman held Solo Sikoa back from joining the Usos in the arena, claiming Roman Reigns wanted his cousins to have the spotlight for themselves. The look he shot the Enforcer suggested otherwise, though. Heyman watched over Sikoa's shoulder from the backstage area and appeared to be thrilled as Reigns told him via phone call that tonight is Solo's night. Riddle attacked Solo, preventing his interference in the match. Jay rocked Sami with a super kick, leaving KO to fend for himself. He valiantly stayed in the bout, defiantly fighting off his opponents. Sammy recovered and delivered the haluva kick for the successful title defense. Michael Cole said on commentary, the ocean of obscurity awaits the Usos, expressing the displeasure Reigns will have with the outcome. 4.25, right around 4.25, 4.5. Definitely the fight of the night. Another incredible match with these two, but with all due respect, Mania was better. This was about 4.25, maybe 4.5 at the absolute best, but without a doubt, it was the fight of the night. A bit of a surprise with the outcome. I have my doubts, especially with Saudi Arabia next month, but KO and Sammy, first successful title defense. We'll see what happens with the tag division now, and MF. What's going to happen now with the Usos? I mean, are they going to go to Raw now? It's very possible.
Not only that, but is it possible that they could split the Usos? Jay stays on Raw. Jimmy goes to SmackDown. I mean, you could do that. I mean, there's a number of ways that this could play out. But at the end of the day, you saw what happened, and oh my, is all I can say. So
keep an eye on Raw. Keep an eye on Raw Monday night.
Monday night is going to be a very interesting night. I will say that, folks. Yep. So stay tuned. Stay tuned.
So for me, 4.25, 4.5, fight of the night, no doubt about it. As great as this match was, MF, and it was a great match, I still feel WrestleMania was a smidgen better.
I can't disagree with it. I can't deny it. I think Raw was a little better. But my goodness, man, they really, really, really brought it. And they did a very good job with the match. So, yes, the Usos winning, the Usos losing does open the door for something else down the line. But my God, man, what a night. And I'm hats off to everybody for an incredible main event. That was a great matchup. That's going to be a match that we're going to remember for a very long time. And more importantly, the champions remain the champions. So I'm happy about it. I got really nothing more to say. Overall, newsworthy night. Very good show. Very good pay-per-view. Or it had a pay-per-view quality event. But at the end of the day, I can't say anything bad. I thought they did a really good job with it. So for me, maybe I can say that for me, overall, I would probably say it. I would say my rating is a solid 7. I'd probably say 8 out of 10. I thought the draft picks were good. The matches were very good. The main event was amazing. So, no, all in all, great night for SmackDown. Congratulations. And Monday Night Raw, I cannot wait for Monday night and see what they bring to the table. I think it's going to be an epic night. So, Floro, it's yours. Main event with about 4 stars. Overall, 8 out of 10, and it's yours.
Yeah, 8 out of 10, mainly because of how newsworthy.
All right, I guess Anthony just gave his thoughts, and all right, so we're gonna call it a night here. So thank you so much as always, guys. We did decide to cancel the TXN Sports World. We do apologize. There were some things that was beyond our control, so we do apologize for that. If you guys were hoping for it, but what we will do is on Monday night we do it all over again. We're Ridiculously Raw for night 2 of the draft. We're going to have all the draft results on night number 2. And then So it'll be Monday Night Raw and the results from the draft. And then Anthony will have his legendary Tony's take, his NXT Level Up, Impact Wrestling. So he's got that. And then of course we do. And then on Wednesday Night Madness, where we do NXT, and now NXT becomes even bigger now. So we're gonna have NXT, and we're gonna have AEW Dynamite, and then after that, Thursday is the NFL Draft Special for TXN Sports World, as we go basically pick by pick over the NFL Draft, and then 1 week from tonight, another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. We're gonna do NXT, actually AEW Rampage, and we're also gonna be previewing. We got Smackdown, and we're also gonna be previewing the Backlash from Puerto Rico.
Yes, sir.
So we got that. So guys, thank you so much as always. You guys are awesome. You guys already know that. We love you. Have a great night, and we'll see you guys on Monday night. So for Anthony Floyo, I'm Michael Flecha saying so long, everybody.
Goodbye.